You know that amazing feeling, right? Opening the windows after winter, getting that first real breath of spring air.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Makes you want to clean everything in sight.
It really does. But what if, even after all that scrubbing, there's some hidden grime you're missing, completely overlooking?
That's exactly what we're digging into today. We focus on what we see, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dust bunnies, the messy canners.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we're going deep into the unseen. We're talking air ducts and dryer vents.
Yes. Those pathways that are, well, pretty crucial for your home's health, its efficiency.
And they often hide more junk than you'd think.
Exactly. So we've been looking at some info from the team at Vacu-Man Furnace and Duct Cleaning, trying to understand why cleaning these systems might be like one of the smartest things you do this spring.
So our mission, you could say.
Yeah, our mission today is to show why cleaning ducts and vents isn't just, another chore.
It's actually critical for a genuinely fresh home. Healthy, too, and safer.
Couldn't have said it better. Okay, so let's start with the air ducts. Think about winter. Furnace running constantly.
Right, pushing that warm air around. But what else is tagging along with that heat?
Well, according to Vacu-Man, it's definitely not just warm air. Over months, things like dust.
Loads of dust.
Pollen, too big one if you have allergies. Pet hair, obviously, if you've got pets.
Even just, dead skin cells. We all shed them.
Gross, but true. And it all just settles inside the ducts, a hidden collection kind of happening right over our heads.
Precisely. And after a whole heating season, that buildup can get pretty substantial. Vacu-Man actually has this really good analogy.
Oh, yeah.
They say it's like a snowstorm in a snow globe, except, instead of cute snowflakes,
it's dust and dander. And
yeah, not so charming.
Not charming at all.
And here's the kicker, maybe the slightly unsettling part. When you finally turn off the furnace and the air starts moving differently, maybe you even flick on the AC later.
Right, as it warms up.
Right.
All that trapped stuff, it can get stirred right back up, pushed into the air you're breathing every day.
That's the key takeaway here. What was kind of stuck in the ducts is now, everywhere. In your living room, your bedroom.
And you might start noticing things, right? Like subtle things at first.
Definitely. Maybe your allergies suddenly flare up indoors, even when the pollen count outside isn't crazy high.
Or that smell, that kind of musty, stale house smell you just can't place.
That could be it. Vacu-Man also mentions sometimes the buildup can even make your HVAC system sound weird, noisy.
Like it's struggling.
Exactly. Working harder than it needs to. All these little signs could mean it's time for professional duct cleaning.
So the bottom line for ducts is there's hidden gunk. And it directly messes with your indoor air quality. It's not just about visible dust.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's the air moving in. What about the air moving out? Let's shift to dryer vents.
Right. Now, I think most people, myself included, are pretty good about cleaning the lint trap, inside the dryer door after every load usually.
And that's great. Definitely important, a good first step. But that trap doesn't catch everything, not even close sometimes. There's the other part. The vent hose or pipe running from the dryer's back all the way outside your house. That's the critical bit we need to talk about.
And that's where Vacu-Man says the real danger can hide. We all know dryer lint is flammable, right?
Incredibly flammable. It's light, fluffy, basically perfect fire starter.
So when that stuff builds up inside the vent pipe,
yeah,
that sounds bad. Really bad.
It is bad. Seriously. Blocked dryer vents are actually a leading cause of house fires here in Canada.
Wow. A leading cause. That's pretty sobering.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But okay, beyond the huge fire risk, a clogged vent causes other problems too. Less dramatic maybe, but still significant.
Right, like what Vacu-Man mentioned a few things.
Well, first off, your dryer just can't work efficiently. It struggles to push the damp air out through that clogged vent.
Meaning clothes take longer to dry. Ugh. Nobody wants that. Laundry day is long enough.
Tell me about it. And that extra strain. It wears out your dryer faster, the motor, the heating element. They're working overtime.
Which shortens the appliance's lifespan. Makes sense.
And costs you money.
Yep.
All that extra running time means higher hydro bills. It's literally inefficient.
Plus the sheer frustration. You run a full cycle, pull clothes out, and they're still damp. It's the worst.
And 9 times out of 10, that's because the airflow is choked off by lint in the vent line. Simple as that.
Okay, so the solution here is pretty clear then.
Yeah, professional vent cleaning gets rid of that dangerous buildup, reduces the fire risk massively, obviously. But it also helps your dryer run better, maybe even saves you a bit on electricity.
It really does sound like a win-win. Better air quality from clean ducts, safer and more efficient drying from clean vents.
Exactly. It starts to feel like this goes way beyond just, wiping down surfaces for spring cleaning.
It's more like investing in your homes. Well, quality of life, maybe?
That's a great way to put it. It's not just about looking tidy. It's about how the home functions and how it feels to live in it.
Okay, so let's recap some of those broader benefits Vacu-Man talks about. Better indoor air is the big one, right?
Huge. Fewer allergens, less dust, fewer irritants floating around. That can make a real difference, especially if you have asthma or allergies. Better health, better comfort.
Then there's HVAC efficiency. Just like the dryer, if your furnace or AC is pushing air through dirty ducts, it uses more energy.
Simple physics, really. Clean pathways mean less resistance, easier operation, which again can mean lower utility bills over time.
And what about those weird smells we mentioned? The musty ones.
Yes. Vacu-Man points out that those often come from the ducts. All that accumulated dust, debris, sometimes even a bit of microbial growth.
Ew!
Yeah. Getting that stuff out can really freshen up the whole house, eliminate odors at the source.
Makes total sense. And finally, maybe the less tangible benefit.
Peace of mind. Just knowing your air is cleaner, the fire risk from the dryer is reduced, your systems are running efficiently. There's real value in that feeling. Especially heading into spring and summer, you want your home to feel like a safe, comfortable haven.
Definitely. Now, we should mention, again, this info comes from Vacu-Man Furnace and Duct Cleaning. It's good to know the source.
Always. And they've been around a while, haven't they? Serving Hamilton and surrounding areas.
Since 1979. That's quite a track record. Decades of experience in this specific field.
And they mentioned being family-owned and operated. You often find that brings a certain level of care and, personal accountability.
That's often true. They also talk about their equipment. High-powered truck-mounted equipment.
Yeah, and that's important. It tells you it's not just a fancy vacuum cleaner. This is industrial-strength gear designed to really pull debris out effectively, way beyond what you could do yourself for both ducts and vents.
Good point. And for listeners in that area, they cover a pretty wide zone. Yes. Hamilton, Oakville, Burlington.
Milton, Grimsby, Brantford, St. Catharines, Niagara too. So quite a few communities.
Yeah, if you're nearby, they're a local option, and they make it easy to connect.
Yep, phone number is 905-333-5454. And the website is just vacuman.com, vacuman.com. Easy. The main thing is, some spring cleaning you can totally DIY. But for ducts and vents, you really need the specialized tools and the know-how of professionals to do it right and safely.
Absolutely. So when you're making that spring cleaning list, maybe scribbling down, wash windows, clean floors.
Take a second. Think about what we've talked about. Don't just focus on the dirt you see.
Yeah. For that truly fresh, truly healthy home feeling this spring, don't skip the hidden stuff, the air ducts, the dryer vent.
They're working behind the scenes, but they have such a big impact on your air, your safety, even your wallet.
Okay, so let's leave our listeners with a final thought to chew on.
All right.
Just think for a minute. When was the last time you had your air ducts and dryer vent professionally cleaned? If ever.
Good question.
What could be the unseen cumulative effect of, maybe years of neglect on your family's health, on your home safety, those energy bills?
Yeah, it's definitely worth considering. Maybe exploring how a proper HVAC refresh could genuinely improve your home this season in ways you maybe hadn't thought of before.
It's exactly something to ponder. Until our next deep dive, here's wishing you all a wonderfully clean and, more importantly, healthy spring.